Hi guys, so today we are talking all about olive skin tones and also medium to deep skin tones and the considerations that you could be thinking about when you are thinking about foundations specifically and choosing the right foundation shade for yourself. So if you are completely new here, then I have a lot of videos on skin undertones and how to find your undertone, and I'll leave those resources down below. And if you are still confused, then I also offer color typing through my website, and I'll leave a link to that down below. So the thing that you want to consider first is that you might not be as deep as you think you are. So a lot of the time, people who have some deeper features, maybe brown eyes or dark hair, they feel like they might be quite deep in their skin tone too. And most of the time, this sort of misconception doesn't tend to matter that much because you're picking outfits even for lip colors and things like that. It doesn't tend to matter, but of course when you're picking foundation, that can matter a lot. So don't just assume just because you have deeper features that you have a deeper skin tone. When we're thinking about depth of skin, we're really thinking about the entire range of skin tones that exist, from Nicole Kidman all the way to Lupita. So someone like Beyonce, let's say, maybe some people would call her deep. I would call her medium because her skin color itself is not that deep, and sometimes certain features like having deeper features or a deeper eye color or hair color and all of those things, or if you're an olive skin tone, like me, you might have deeper features, dark hair, dark eyes. You might automatically assume that you have a medium or deep skin tone, but you might not. So really keep an eye out and keep an open mind when you are trying foundations, because it can get really tiresome to try out all of these foundations that are not even close to your skin tone. So let me touch briefly on olive skin tones and what it means to actually be olive. So olive skin tones in general are skin tones that have more green to the skin than red. And so the red-green balance is what's going to determine if you have an olive skin tone, that is, you have more green to your skin, or if you have more red to your skin, you are a rosy skin tone. And that has nothing to do with being cool or warm. So a lot of the time I see these compartments of skin tone that are these categories of skin tone that are cool, warm, and olive. That's not a thing. Olive is a separate axis of skin tones. So olive can be either cool or warm. Rosy skin tones can also be cool or warm. So if you guys want to learn more about the olive skin tone, then I do have videos on olive that I'll leave a link to down below so that you can dive deeper into the topic. But I wanted to cover briefly, in case anyone is curious, sort of what I believe happened to foundation shades as we've started to introduce more deeper colors for a wider variety of skin tones. So as you guys know, even a few decades back, or just less than a decade back, most makeup companies had primarily light foundation shades, right? And so in the US at least, people who have lighter skin tones sort of tend to fall into two categories. They can either be cool, of course, and the people who are cool out of the lighter skin tones tend to be more rosy or more pink in tone, more red in tone. Even if they tan, they can sometimes stay more redder in tone, or they have more of a cocoa tone. It's not necessarily this olive tone. And then on the other hand, we also have warm undertones who are less pink. So in terms of olive, that's good, they are less pink. So a lot of the time, people who are olive will unfortunately go for those yellower tones of foundation, which is better than the pink tones, but it's still not exactly fitting. But those sort of warm golden tones are sort of the second category, more or less. Warm and less olive, so to speak, is the second category of those lighter shades for the majority of people who have light skin and light features. Okay, so what happened when makeup companies started to add more shades? So remember, now we have cool and rosy is one option out of the lighter skin tones that are more common, or warm and less rosy, kind of a little bit warm and olive, but not particularly olive, just less rosy. So we have those two categories, or those two families of skin tones. And so what the makeup companies seem to have done is they've just made those deeper. They've just made more shades in those color families, those 2 color families. And what that leaves out is cool olive. So cool olive skin tones can be any depth of skin. You can be a light cool olive skin tone, you can be a dark cool olive skin tone, or anything in between. But the main thing is that you might find that you're being left out of the foundation game. But recently companies have been starting to pay attention, and there are companies who make foundations for olive skin tones specifically. So they are listening, and they are sort of paying attention to olive skin more and more now. So if you are a medium or deep skin tone and you are warm, then and you're olive, then most of the time you're going to have a relatively, or kind of an easy time, or an easier time than cool olive, medium to deep skin tones, right? And finding your foundation shade because of that historical factor of those warm golden shades just being made darker. But those cool reddish shades are also going to be good options for people who are deeper, who have more of a redder undertone to their skin. But then when we have the cool olive people, who could be any depth of skin, they sort of don't have as many options. So this tip, or these ideas, are all over YouTube by now, but it pays to mention them again, and that is green color corrector. Green color corrector is an excellent option if you want to expand your foundation options and you have certain formulas you like, but you just don't have that olive match. Get some green color corrector and mix it in with your foundation. And finally, I wanted to talk about, the last consideration that you might want to think about is that you might actually have grayish skin, and cool olive can oftentimes look a bit grayish, or a bit of have kind of a grayish tone to it, or a grayish or a silverish undertone. And I've sometimes seen, this is also cool and delicate olive especially, will look like they have more of a silvery tone to the skin. And when they don't wear their own colors, and if you're cool and delicate olive, I have a video on that, but I can also tell you right away, if you're cool and delicate olive, your best colors are going to be those muted cool colors, like muted blues, muted emerald green, muted purples. Cool burgundy is an excellent color for olive, because especially if you have high contrast features, because the red of the burgundy is going to contrast with the green of the skin, and at the same time you'll also wear a cool burgundy if you're cool, or a warm burgundy if you're warm, and that red of the burgundy will contrast with the olive tones of the skin and look really beautiful. Okay, so let's get back to talking about the whole idea of having a bit of a grayish skin tone. So one sign that your foundation might not be matching you in terms of your olive balance is that it can look almost too bright on you, or too saturated on you, and olive skin tends to be more muted, especially if it's cool and delicate, but it just has more of a muted quality to it than rosy skin that is in the same color family. So basically, you could have a bit more of a grayish skin tone, and that's okay. That means that your foundation should also be a bit more of a muted color and not so saturated, and your makeup colors themselves, like your blush and your lip color, might also, you might want to go for colors that are a bit more muted in tone, and colors that actually lean more brown. So if you have an olive skin tone, reds look more bright on you. So you might find that any red lip color just looks extremely bright on you. Or if you want to go for a mauve, it looks like a magenta. So one of the things you can think about is going for those almost nude colors for your lip color or for your blush color. So for those redder colors, like for blush and lip color and things like that, muted colors would be better too if you are an olive skin tone, because reds are going to look particularly bright on you, no matter your depth level in terms of your skin tone. So that is it, you guys. That's all I have to say for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. And also, if you are interested in more content like this, you can check out Miriam Style Club, where I hold Q&As and do sort of shop with me videos. And if you are still confused about your color type, then I would recommend taking a look around my channel. I'll leave some links to videos down below. And if you're still confused, I offer color typing through my website, and I'll leave a link to all of that down below too. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.